Monday. So, good weekend all in all. Something I need for you to do next weekend is I need you to be in a pretty decent mood, right? There's a dark comedy which is based on real life events that I need you to watch. It's called Cocaine Bear. I shit you not. The short version is drug dealer plane flies over some park, can't remember the name, forest in the US. A tog bag or whatever falls out, and there's these bricks of cocaine that fall. This bear eats it, gets shit-faced, fucked up on cocaine, and then they follow the story. It's a true story. It's a true story, and they did this dark comedy. For added effect, smoke a joint before. It's a beautiful thing. Cocaine Bear. Like, I'm not even joking. It's a real thing. Go and check it out. So, yeah, I quite enjoyed Cocaine Bear. But here's the thing. So, obviously right now, right, I'm a co-founder and a shareholder and a director of Wild Eye. I run a lot of trips through them, and that's kind of where I built my brand, right? Hi, I'm Gerry from Wild Eye, the whole thing. And we had a couple of meetings early today, and I'm ridiculously proud of the thing that we've created. We have literally changed the way people see the world. Then, long story, and if I haven't told this yet, I'm sure I will at some stage, I opened my own life coaching practice. I studied psychology in the past. I got an honors in psychology, honors degree sports psychology, and then long story short, I then finished a bunch of modules over the last few years, and I started my practice about a year and a half ago. And I had one or two people, one recently, and that's where this popped up. It says, can't I please make a new feed, right, and put all my coaching and the motivational, whatever you want to call it, stuff over there, because it'll be easier for her to consume. She doesn't want to see the photographs or the Wild Eye stuff. And someone in the past, for example, said, well, just when I started, oh no, they just want to see pictures of lions, that I couldn't care what I have to say. Well, I can tell you what I say, but different story. So it got me thinking again this weekend, and then I saw a video in which Gary Vee was talking about kind of business, branding and stuff. And here's the thing. We're always told, like online in this world, right, that you have to niche yourself and find your niche, and then you will grow from there. Or find the niche and the algorithm would love you from there. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I find that ridiculously boring. Ridiculously boring. If you only sell these little microphones, right, if that's your gig, then sure, niche, boom, there you go. But what Gary said in this video as well is, you know what, niche is not necessarily the way to go. Do you think that all the photographers, you're a photographer and you're following me, right? I'm sure you follow other photographers as well. And if all they post is just wildlife images, do you think those people who post all those images and that particular content, do you think they have other things to say about life, or are they just fucking one-dimensional and that's all they have? Right? Of course they're not. Of course they're not. Of course they have different interests, different things. Why should I not be allowed to talk about life and psychology and fitness, which I did a lot of in the past, and it's a big part of what I do now, and photography and travel and comedy and Cocaine Bear, whatever? Surely that's the thing. And then what Gary said in the video as well, he says, you know what, you're the niche. There's, thank goodness for this, but there's only one of me. I am the niche. I bring my niche energy to whatever it is that I want or that I have interest in. So whether it's my coaching clients, whether it's my travel clients, whether I'm teaching or whether I'm public speaking, I am the niche. I would like to speak about anything. I would not be on Instagram or do these things anymore if it was just narrow. Right? Yes, Wild Eye makes people's dreams come true, but we do private guiding, we do scheduled safaris, there's photography, there's travel, right? And I get that's the highway. But I want to talk about more. I've got more things on my mind, and I've got a separate business now where I do the coaching side of things. So I am going to talk about everything in my own way. And look, just in case you're wondering, I don't care what people think. If you don't like the content, there's an unfollow button. That's fine. It's cool. But for you, is if you're a photographer, surely you have other stuff. But then the argument against that, right? The argument against that comes in, and it says, well, the algorithm is not going to reward you if one day you talk about anxiety. The next day you talk about photography. The next day you talk about trauma and addiction. The next day you talk about travel. And the next day you talk about polar bears. And then you talk about cocaine bear. Right? The algorithm's not going to reward you for it. Okay. But I'm not after the algorithm. It's done. I'm not going to play that game. I would rather have fewer people who are really interested in the things that I speak about rather than playing to an algorithm that's going to feed things to and then just blow smoke on the whole thing. And how did they talk about this? Don't recall. Transactional, right? It's transactional. If I go online and I'm speaking to you now, you're watching this video on Instagram or YouTube, the transaction you and I are engaging in is this moment, and I'm talking about this. I just literally before this filmed a trip report about Svalbard, and in that transaction that I'm putting out there, I'm telling you about my experience. That's going out on the Wild Eye YouTube on Wednesday, right? So you are the niche. You are the individual person that brings a certain energy, a certain flair, a certain knowledge, passion, experience, education. Why hide that? Like, can you imagine some people online that we follow, and I get it, you're trying to sell prints, so you just go print. I think it was Jay Maisel, I might get that wrong, but who is a New York street photographer, and he was running a workshop, and someone asked him, how do I become a more interesting photographer? How do I create more interesting images? And his answer was, become a more interesting person. That's the niche to me. And I loved that video that I saw where they're speaking about, don't worry about niche, just you are the niche, and then have different transactions with people. The interactions are transactions. So from a coaching point of view, there's two approaches, ballpark. There's transformational and there's transactional. Transformational is working over time and you want to transform something about you, physically, mentally, your goals, passion, purpose, whatever. It's over a longer arc, right? So for the majority of people, that's kind of the thing. They want to transform themselves into something better. But on the way there's a lot of transactional things. So transactional coaching and goals are normally things that involve the outside world. I want to lose 5 kilograms, so I'm going to go run. Or I have a difficult conversation that I need to have with my boss or my partner or my mother, whatever. That's a transaction. It's an external thing you need to manage, where transformation is more of an internal thing that drives you over time. So if you want to transform people from a social media point of view, right, surely you need to have more than one dimension. I get, and it's quite evident to me because I follow a lot of feeds of people who inspire, motivate, teach, educate, and so on and so forth. And there are very few of them, the ones that really matter, not these fucking influencers. They're useless. Oh, look, I've bought the microphone and I'm going to now put it next to the swimming pool where I'm sitting with my bikini. Ooh, whatever, right? It's a different discussion. But the people who bring real value at the top level, right? The people who teach and inspire and who encourage and facilitate transformation for people, they're sharing more than just the thing that they do. They're sharing the person who they are. And I think that's pretty cool. I really think that's pretty cool. Look at, and this, I'm just thinking about this now. Think of the Joe Rogan podcast, right? People have all kinds of opinions about him. But the one thing recently as well, I think it was on episode 2000, he was talking to Duncan Trussell. And they also talking about how big the platform is. But for him, he's putting himself in there, but he's getting transactions in with different communication with different people. But it's not just one-dimensional. There's so much more to life than just sharing one thing online. Imagine if this was the real world and someone comes to visit and you live in a small town and John comes to visit and all he does is he talks about his lion photography. Okay, John, that's cool. I need to go now. Fine. You bump into him at the pharmacy tomorrow and he just starts talking about his lion photography. And then the next day you meet him, you go and pick up the kids at the school and he's there and he just starts talking about his... That's what it's like. And I think the problem, especially with wildlife and nature photography, is that it's so saturated online that there needs to be a way for you to get the attention. One of my clients that I'm working with, we're looking at building her brand photography-wise, and it's both transformational and transactional on different levels. But the idea is people will buy your prints because it's you. It's very seldom that someone will just hit you up and say, oh, this is a great picture of an acacia tree. I want to buy it. If they buy into you, they will buy your thing. And again, I think Simon Sinek said this, where he said something in the line of, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. That. But if you only posting pictures all the time, and I'm speaking for myself here, you're not going to know who I am, the type of person, the energy, and so forth. So anyway, this is a lot of a mind dump for me here. This is really what this is. Be the niche. You are the niche. You are the thing that makes your content unique, whether you're posting photography or coaching or travel or whatever it is, right? Be the niche. Does this make sense? To me, it does. I'm not sure I'm articulating it correctly, but anyway, I liked it. I think it's a great idea. And for those of you, if you even watch, but if you are the people that think, split it up because I don't want to see your content on the feed, well, sorry, this is it. This is the brand. I am the brand. I am the niche, and I'm going to share. And I would like to think I'm pretty good at teaching photography and hosting trips, but I also like to think I'm pretty good on inspiring and teaching people and kind of transforming and helping with see, so why should I deny myself that, to put that out there? Anyway, that went all over the place. Go watch Cocaine Bear. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go. Bye.